So one of the most common deadlift mistakes that I see, and honestly it gets overlooked a lot, is having your shoulders uh, directly on top of the bar. And I learned this from Pete Rubish. Shout out to Pete. Now, on paper, that sounds correct. Like it feels like a solid cue, right? Because you're supposed to let your arms hang. Uh, there are lots of cues that might end up confusing you. But in reality, you actually want your shoulders to be slightly in front of the bar. And the reason for that is to optimally engage your lats. Because what I notice is a lot of people try to kind of artificially pull their shoulder blades back, like they're pinching them together, uh, as if bracing for squat, or kind of retracting their shoulder blades, like in the bench press. Now, that sounds correct, but it often confuses people into thinking that they're actually engaging the lats like you ideally should. So that's mainly because you're not effectively pulling the bar towards your body. And to get the lats involved, you have to move your shoulder a little bit forward. So you can think of it almost like the end position of a bent over cable pull over movement, whether you are doing it using the tricep rope or a straight bar attachment. If you've ever done a pullover, that point where the bar is almost touching your thighs, basically the end part of the movement, that's the kind of tension and direction you want. So you can think of it, you can think of executing that movement and then bending slightly forward, right? So instead of the cable attachment, it's the barbell that you are trying to emulate that tension with. Now, in this demo that you can see on the screen, when I'm showing the incorrect form, I've still engaged my lats a little bit, and you can see that my shoulder is still a little bit in front. Imagine this: if your shoulder and the seam of the sleeve uh, are in the exact same line, that's a problem. So uh, it it'll result in extremely unreliable result. You might be able to get away with deadlifting at lighter weights, but eventually it's going to catch up with you just at especially at heavier weights. And if you do that for a really long time, you won't force the corresponding adaptation in your lats, because there's this context specific activation that's also important. It kind of reinforces the neural pattern, so you don't want to reinforce the wrong neural pattern. So you want that shoulder to just nudge forward slightly so that the lats can do their job. Uh, okay, so I found this video of me deadlifting back in 2022, which demonstrates this incorrect setup perfectly. As you can see in the first repetition, there is a lot more knee travel. I try to sit back like in a squat. My torso is a lot more upright. So I try to artificially create this visual structure rather than letting my body find out its natural starting point. And notice how in the successive reps, my body naturally adjusts the starting point. So in the first rep, as you can see that my hips shoot up first, and then the rest of the lift gets executed. And this is your body adjusting itself. Right? So in this specific stance, in this specific grip width, this is your body's natural correct starting point. Depending upon your own biomechanics, the kind of grip you use, your stance, your external rotation, your deadlift's gonna look slightly different, and it depends a lot upon your own anthropometry. So the ratio between the limbs, whether or not the femur is longer relative to the torso, the length of your arms. So it's a complicated discussion, but you would need to use your own intuition and a little bit of so one more thing that I forgot to clarify is that you would still need to actively pull the bar towards your legs, basically towards your body, but not actually touch it. Because if you touch, you'll going to create this artificial resistance, right? And it's going to lead in inconsistent repetitions, a lot of scraping of the shins. You notice that there's also another confusion regarding how close the barbell should be in front of your body. It should uh, uh, be in line at the center of your feet. So basically, just a couple of inches away from your shins is a good starting point, and will probably work for most people. But ideally, you should align the bar with the center of your feet so that you are able to push off uh, both the ball of your feet and your heels. If you have any clarifications or any suggestions, uh, feel free to write a comment, like and share this video if you think someone else needs to know. Uh, and stay tuned.